Christian, interreligious, and intercultural encounter is how I would name the subject area that I want to invite you into. It's undergirded really by Christian spirituality and practical theology, and we do it a little bit differently at United in a way that's really significant for the church. The implicit curriculum is what we focus on here, which is students come in with an invitation to become aware of their own fear of encounter of difference, their own reactivities. What reactivities do they have from how they were brought up in the faith and they're trying to defend it? What are the reactivities of the leader is really the focus of our course here, which is really significant today because our institutions and our leaders are drenched in fear. So we spend time examining the fear. Where does it come from? How does it express itself in your body and in your work? And once you get hold of that, you actually can encounter unexpected ways that God is speaking through people who you wouldn't think God would speak through. You can hold and own your own fear and reactivities. You become a non-anxious presence that can be curious and love first, which then deepens your relationship in faith and deepens your devotion to Jesus, because Jesus did a lot of that in his own ministry. But most come away from the course with sort of a light in their eyes and a huge relief, because they recognize Spirit is with them the entire way. Jesus encounters people on the way, on the road all the time, and they just get to be a part of that. The language is Trinitarian hospitality. We allow Spirit to be a guest in us as we go, and we're not in charge. There is such a relief, I think, in students to realize, God's got this. I'm finite. There's great gift in finitude, and so I'm free to encounter and explore, get curious. I don't have to defend anymore because it's all inside and all around you. One of the gifts of practical theology is really doing a dance between rigorous academic work. It's sort of been birthed in Western intellectual traditions, global intellectual traditions, and recognizing that none of that means anything if where the rubber hits the road, you don't have practices and skills and experience of integrating the academic rigorous work. So most of my classes, and even most of my books are all the same project of returning to the body. And in the course that I teach, we explore the dimension of food, sort of an environment of encounter. For 5 days, students honor kashrut or kosher. They keep kosher, and they wind up learning a mindfulness of how present God is because they're paying attention to what they eat based on this wisdom. The other is honoring the dimension of the body. So I have them pray 5 times a day when devout Muslims pray. It's about getting familiar with how Muslims pray, but the implicit learning is, wow, Muslims pray a lot more than I do, and they pray in their body, and that's a very different experience than me sitting on a pew. For anyone considering seminary, I always invite stillness and discernment. Our institutions are in a time of great change and tumult, high polarization, and holy hungers are an intimate, vulnerable, beautiful thing. So really be discerning the institutional context that will honor your holy hunger and protect it at the same time. And I found that United does that very well because of its emphasis on listening for the Spirit, on listening for the Word of God that sort of counters some of the institutional expectations or norms. Discern carefully and honor your holy hungers as sacred unto themselves.